What's going on, you guys? Coach here to talk about the Super Bowl in Atlanta. The usual talk about the AFC, then the NFC, and then I will make my prediction and overall thoughts on the game itself as well as the season. So, without further ado, let's start talking about this Super Bowl that will happen in Atlanta, better known as Atlanta United Stadium. Yeah, more known for MLS than the NFL. So, the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl for the third consecutive year, trying to win their second of the last three Super Bowls. Possibly we're very close to a three-peat. But I digress. The Patriots are back, and this is probably the worst Patriots team to play in the Super Bowl. I mean, among all the Super Bowls they've played in, even before Belichick, the other two, this is probably the worst team. I ain't kidding. This team was terrible defensively, and they had some first-half jitters. I mean, you're going to lose some games. Okay, they had some first half jitters. I kind of expected that. You expect a little bit of losing here and there. I mean, that Lions loss, that was whatever. But I was never hitting the panic button on this team. I don't think any Patriots fans would. I mean, the AFC has been summed up in one phrase because
it doesn't matter what happens. As long as they got Tom Brady and the guy in a hoodie, they're one of the top teams in the AFC.
I'll put that clip in there. We'll put in production in that clip. But that clip is from like 2011. I mean, seriously, you got to recycle the same damn clip from. Gosh, it's been 8 years. That's the AFC. I can recycle the same thing and just repeat myself. It doesn't matter that Tom Brady is in his 40s and Belichick is still there. Those two guys have been the consistent thing about the AFC. The only guys who've been representing really in recent years are 1 year of Joe Flacco, a few years of Peyton Manning, and Big Ben Roethlisberger. Those are the only quarterbacks who've been representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. It's been very passive and boring to just know who's going to win the AFC. Now, Father Time's eventually going to catch up, but I guarantee you one thing is that it's as long as they got those two guys, they're just winning. I don't know when Father Time will finally hit Brady, but this is still the greatest dynasty in NFL history. And oh, great, they got all these titles and all this nonsense and blah, blah, blah. But it's just interesting how this year the defense was not there. And were they sandbagging? It's possible. It could be easy sandbag because when the Chargers came in there, many people, including yours truly, thought the Chargers were going to beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. And Patriots just showed up on another level. It was like 21 unanswered points at one point. They just destroyed them. And then in the playoffs against the Chiefs, they obviously made enough plays to win that one too. So. Yeah, you just never write off Tom Brady. It is what it is. He's already the greatest if you count how many games he's won and all the accomplishments. He's just building more to his legacy. And one thing we know, this will not be his last game. He's made it very clear. He will retire when he sucks and his body is just broken down and all that. He won't stop yet. He does not want to end his career on a Super Bowl winning note. He will wait till he actually has a bad year or something, and then he'll call it quits. But the big question for me is that what happens when Brady's time is done? Does he retire, and does Belichick retire with him, or will Belichick keep coaching? Because he's up there in age too. You can't be coaching forever. I don't know anyone who goes into their 70s or 80s when they're head coaching in football. There's very few out there in history who've done that. So, yeah, that's a question for another day. As long as they got that guy in a hoodie, they're winning. Even though their defense had to go through some changes and tools. I mean, Belichick, when he's a GM, he's always getting rid of a guy maybe a year earlier, but he always prevents holding on to a player too long. Outside of Brady, that's the only guy he's held on to. Everybody else, they just come and go, they come and go. And that running back, Michael, their first-round draft pick, he's been pretty good for them as well. The offense, they're able to run the ball, and they're doing a pretty good job on offense. Just defensively, this was a very vulnerable group, and they were giving up a lot of plays, especially in the first half. But the last two games, you say you're only as good as your last game, they're showing up when it counts, and that's what matters. So they're back. The Patriots, I didn't think they were going to be in the Super Bowl. I actually had the Chargers in the Super Bowl when I was going and picking teams for the AFC. But, there's the saying, you just don't write off Tom Brady. You just never do that. So AFC, it's still the Patriots thing until told otherwise. the NFC side, we got the LA Rams. And what do you know? They turn it around pretty quick. Only in their third year since returning back to Los Angeles. Their new stadium's not even up yet. They're still using the Coliseum. So, congratulations, Rams. You are in the Super Bowl for the first time since, ironically, the year of Super Bowl 39, the year that the Patriots dynasty started. Well, when I look at the Rams, this has been a mediocre team before 2017. They were mediocre. They had this talent, and then they were never able to do anything with it because of their quarterback situation. Now, for a long time, of course, they had Sam Bradford. They were committed to him. He was never healthy. That was his problem even before playing in the NFL. And holy crap, that guy made a lot of money, even after the Rams. I don't know how all these teams are paying him, giving up first-round picks or even second-round picks for him. I don't even know how this guy has been making as much money as he has beyond his rookie contract. Just stupid. But one thing's good. You know, you finally get the best player who was available that year you were drafted. And that's the guy you signed in free agency, and Ndamukong Suh. Oh, has he helped your defense a lot, which was already good in the front, which of course has Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers, who, you know, when we think about that trade for RG3, a lot of those guys are not there anymore, but Brockers is still there. There's one of the main pieces there, but all those other guys like Robinson is a bust. I know Ogletree's gone and so on. The other interesting subplot, of course, is Brandon Cooks, the guy you got from the Patriots for a first-round pick, which the Patriots player actually never played. I think he tore his ACL in the preseason. So Cooks, you know, big game playmaker. He's been a big weapon for y'all. It's really been big, though, is, of course, Sean McVay. That's the big trendsetter. Hire a young guy, a guy who was once in charge of Kirk Cousins. I mean, suddenly, we always hear that it's a copycat league. You hire guys and make something trendy. Well, Sean McVay's having that effect of hiring guys that know Sean McVay or have a connection. That's been the big thing, because that's how these teams are hiring and so on. You look at, of course, the Packers just went after Matt LaFleur, who has a McVay connection. So he changed the culture of this team, and the offense looks a lot better. I mean, Jared Goff in his first season looked awful. Of course, you don't give up on a first overall pick that you trade up for and on, but he actually made very great progress in year 2, and then in year 3, you've seen even more progress, so props to him. But your defense was already good. That was something in the Jeff Fisher years, those last few years in St. Louis. The defense had the pieces, and it just never had the offense to support it. So it's strange. They were always this mediocre 500 kind of team, and now they finally get over that hump with all the talent. It's finally coming through for them. So it's good to see a guy like Aaron Donald specifically kill it out there. I have actually liked him among random players. So yeah, the Rams. It's still really weird to think that St. Louis is angry. That's one thing I do know. Any former Rams fans that were in St. Louis have turned on him. It wasn't long ago when LA hated Georgia Frontier when she moved the team and packed their bags. And now, of course, it's the other way around. So yeah, we look at the Rams, and suddenly they're just, they're on another level. The NFC, they were one of the top teams, and I expected them to win their division. I don't think, even if that team who was supposed to challenge them with Jimmy Garoppolo, if he were healthy, no, there would have been no challenge. There may have been maybe one win head-to-head, but this was the Rams' division to lose. That we are in an era where the Rams are dominant, they're young, they're free. You got, especially the youngest coach at the time when he was hired, Sean McVay. So he has been the trendsetter for other teams to now start hiring random guys, and specifically young coaches for a new era. I mean, that's the thing, how this league changes. There's always trends, and that's what the Rams are doing, and other teams are following suit. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy how they got in. I don't buy that they stole the game or the refs handed it to them. That play was bad, that play call against the Saints, or that flag, that didn't happen. But the Rams had to make a lot of plays in that first quarter, okay? It should have been 21-0 after the first quarter. But defense held them to field goals, and they had to make their stops. The Rams themselves earned it. It's not, oh, the refs gave it to the Rams. I call major BS to that. There were plenty of other opportunities that happened. It doesn't come down to that one play, okay? Just to get it out of the way. So, calling it down the middle, how I see this game playing out, I see this as a high-scoring affair. I think the defenses are going to have issues getting stops on both ends. They're going to just explode out of the gate. So, I would take the over if I was a betting man. But I'm going to say that the experience matters. I think the old team of the Patriots, I still think they're going to put an exclamation point when they're 6th Super Bowl. I think the Rams are very capable. Like, there would be no surprises either way. The only thing that would surprise me about this game is if there's a blowout. I think it's very close. It'll be within at least 2 possessions, maybe down to the last play. I do believe this is a very close matchup on paper. The league wins. You got 2 big markets, especially when you have a Rams market that's very, very interesting. It reignites LA, which of course was the big reason to move there. So, interesting though to me. I'm curious more to know when I think of rooting interest. Like, most people are pulling for the Rams. The people who aren't are obviously division rivals. Okay, Seahawks, Cardinals. But the biggest lose-lose situation are teams who are fans of that team owned by the York family. The team with Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, you either have the division rival in your state winning their 2nd title, which is more recently than 1994 was, or you have the team that wins 6. And, you know, people pride about having 5 Super Bowls and all that, that's fine. That means, though, a second team has won 6 after being the first team to win 5. You know, 2 teams are going to leapfrog you if the Patriots win. So you have that lose-lose situation. Would you rather have another team have 6 besides the Steelers, or would you rather have a division rival? I don't know. I think that's the biggest conundrum, I think, when it comes to rooting interest for the Super Bowl. Or will you just not watch it? That's the other easy call. But yeah, everyone else's rooting interest is straight to the point. I'm sure Missouri hates the Rams. I'm sure they hate Stan Kroenke. But I'd understand both ways. Like, it's just really, really easy to know who's rooting for who. I see this as a, once again, high-scoring affair. I'm going to say the Patriots win 44-41. I think it's going to be just both air attacks, left and right, and a mix of the run. Whether you throw in some Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, or Michael, I think they're all going to have their mixes of plays on the ground. Like, both offenses to me are just really explosive, and I know the Rams are going to do something. But I'm going to be looking at what Brandon Cooks does. That's the big storyline subplot because of the trade between both teams. So, what do you have? Who do you have winning? It should be a very close and interesting game. I don't see this being, I said, it should not be a blowout. But it should, once again, it's the Super Bowl. Enjoy it. Enjoy the party you're at. I know I'm going to have a reaction after the game no matter what. Obviously, pulling for the Rams, I think they can do it, but I think experience is going to matter more in this case, and I think the veteran is going to get it done. I don't know, I think Goff is going to find ways to falter down the stretch. He's going to show his inexperience in the big moment, but who knows? We really don't know until these guys are playing. Fittingly, the Rams' last Super Bowl win was also in Atlanta, in that building known as the Georgia Dome, which, in this case, to me, this is an MLS stadium. What are the Falcons? Who gives a damn when Atlanta United wins a title in its 2nd season? Just ponder that for thoughts, guys. Atlanta is a soccer city, not NFL. We'll see you guys later, and enjoy the game.